can we surrender our need to control and quite literally unalive our ego so that we can start to live life not only on our terms, but divine guidance's terms? You're essentially saying, I relinquish the need to try to make everything perfect in my life, and I'm choosing to let go. Surrendering is not giving up. Surrendering is allowing your destiny to unfold, allowing yourself to enter the realm of receiving. You can't receive in the state of resistance, can't receive in a state of control. I am learning that getting into a routine or a ritual of connecting with something outside of yourself, outside of your mind, the mind will always try to use logic to get out of any form of responsibility. Trusting in a divine plan greater than you forces us to lower our resistance and let the ego take a back seat. The ego has a funny way of convincing us that we need something when we actually just want that thing. And what I found is just because you want something doesn't mean it's a need, and it doesn't mean that divine guidance or God has intended that for your life. For me, this was hard to accept. When you put yourself at the center of destiny, of life, unfortunately, what comes with being at the center is having to exert strength that is supernatural. Now, I'm not saying that God doesn't give us strength to carry out things in our life that we want to make happen. He does, but it comes to a point where, how do I say this? It comes to a point where you've put in the effort and life events occur to reveal that maybe this is the wrong way, or perhaps there is another way. But the ego mind is so stubborn. The ego mind is so stubborn that it will ignore God's voice. I still don't know anything, but I do know that I'm constantly learning something. So first of all, it's selfish to just say like, I deserve or I want these things. Secondly, it's if you're religious, it's against what God preaches, which is that when he intends for something to go, when he intends for something to enter your life, it is because he is intervening. He has ordained it. But if your ego mind is at the forefront, it will attempt to take the reins and say, I don't care what God wants me to have because I feel like I deserve to have this instead. And it's humbling when it doesn't pan out, because then you're met with, a lot of people like to call it a rock bottom moment, where you realize these things happen. And as time goes on, as it will, and God willing, you live to see the result of that transformational period of the ego having to take a back seat and learning the art of surrender. What I'm finding is this was supposed to occur, because if it did not occur, I would not have gotten what my soul needed. The art of surrender is lowering your resistance so that you can let in the unconditional love that God has for you. If right now you're watching this and at this moment you're struggling because you don't understand why it didn't work, you don't understand how you put in so much effort just to come up short, you feel like you were sold a great deception, and you feel that your efforts are for nothing. But I want you to understand that your efforts are not unnoticed. At this point, if you have done all you can do, what do you have to lose in letting go? What do you have to lose in, like I said, connecting with something outside of you now? You've done the work, and it may or may not be working for you. I cannot answer that for you. But what I can say is now you have a decision to make. You can continue trying to get by on your own strength and your own knowledge, which our knowledge, for me, if it doesn't come from above, it's not helpful. But if you don't feel that way and you're okay with having to put in this or exert all this effort to get results out of your life or out of people, then continue doing that. And don't ever feel as if anyone is forcing you to do anything. For me, the art of surrendering literally came from doing just that, trying to make everything happen, and it was exhausting. The beautiful thing about life, as much suffering that it comes with sometimes, is that we get the opportunity to do things a different way if we want to. You don't have to live in a perpetual state of suffering if you don't want to anymore. Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's a new career path. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe it's starting a family. Maybe it is volunteering somewhere that will change someone else's life and help change yours. Okay? Whatever it is, when you meet that crossroads moment of letting go, of surrendering, if you choose to do so, it is a moment of trusting in the unknown, trusting in the unseen. Like I said at the beginning, is it scary? Yes. Would I prefer to know what's gonna come next? Yes. But when I relinquished the desire to see things 100% through before they even happen, not even knowing how they would happen, and stressing about the how, the inner peace that you can access now is just so profound. So don't like to make my videos too long, but what I do want to wrap up saying is that you are not alone in your approach to needing to control, to needing to make yourself the center of everything. I mean, everyone has an ego. And honestly, looking that ego in the face and saying, I'm done. I'm not going to let you control everything anymore, and I'm choosing a different path now. It's going to be hard because the ego is always there. Taking that first step of consciousness, being aware of this hindrance or just this thing, is in itself a form of freedom and surrendering, because you can't change something if you are not aware of it. I think that is everything that I wanted to say. As far as the direction or the route of this video, it was free flowing. I quite literally went into like a flow state, closed my eyes and said, God, what do I need to say right now? If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Share if a friend might need to hear this message. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.